Shabbat Shalom. Welcome everyone here in person and on the live stream. It's my pleasure to be leading the service this evening with Zach, who will be doing musical accompaniment and helping me to sing some of the melodies. We will begin on page 19 with our opening Smira, Shiru Ladonai. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Shir Hadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I shall sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Shir Hadash. I will sing unto God a new song. Now it's my pleasure to call upon Ruth to choose a meditation on page 20 or 21 and kindle the lights of Shabbat.
We read responsively on the bottom of page 20. On this day we would see the world in a new light. On this day we would add new spirit to our lives.
On this day we would taste a new time of peace. We would rest from desire for gain, ambition for vengeance.
We would raise our eyes to look beyond time and space toward eternity. Oh, may we come to see the world in a new light.
As it is written, let a new light shine upon Zion, and may your blessings cease to splendor.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu
Page 24, we will sing Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh al-Rahman, Yedid Nefesh al-Rahman, Meshotav B'Chal, El Rishoneh 7, we will read together under Gimel the meaning of Shabbat. The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things of space. On Shabbat we try to become attuned to holiness in time. It is a day in which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the result of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. And on page 29, we will sing Lahadodi, where we'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when we reach verse 9, we'll rise to face the sanctuary doors. Frank, could you lead us under How Can I Sing?
How can I sing of day and night when it's God who formed them?
How can I sing of heaven and earth when it's God who decreed them?
How can I sing of mountains and hills when it's God who planted them?
How can I sing of seas and deserts when it's God who begot them?
And how can I sing of earth and its fullness when and as God who bade them be.
I shall sing to God who fashioned all and is beyond all. It is to God I shall sing.
Now on page 36, we'll rise for the Baruch, the call to worship. Please be seated. On page 37, we'll read responsibly under Bet. God of all the worlds, how insignificant we are in your sight and how minute in your presence. You are a creator of a universe so vast that our effort to conceive it overwhelms the mind. Our mightiest telescopes scan but a corner of it. The rays of light that reach us from distant galaxies began their journey long before we came to be. Counted from first creation, the earth we live on was born but yesterday, and we made our appearance on it only a moment ago.
When we consider your heavens, wonder of your praises, the moon and the stars you just established, what is humanity to make our minds of us? What are we mortals that you consider us?
Baruch atah Adonai,
Amari V'Erev.
On page 38, we sing Ahavat Olam, of God's unending love. Sorry. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael. On page 40 to 41, please rise in body or spirit for the Shema and V'Yavta. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Vaed, Ve'ahavta Please be seated. On page 42, under meditation, but David, could you read under meditation, but?
I, Miriam, stand at the sea and turn to face the desert stretching endlessly and still.
My arms reach for the sky, and I want to sing the song rising and sinking.
My mouth open, I stop. Where are the words? Where the melodies? In a moment of panic, my vision goes blank. Can I take a step without knowing a destination? Will I falter? Will I fall? Will the ground sink away from under me?
The song still in the form.
How can I sing to take the first step to sing a new song? To close my eyes and dive into unknown waters. For a moment knowing nothing, risking all. But then to discover the waters are friendly, the ground is firm, and the song rises again. Mi hamo hafaeli Madonai, mi hamo kamedor hakodesh, nora tehilo osefele, mahuteha, rahumeha, bokei ayom lifnei Moshe, On page 45, we sing the Hashkivena, our nighttime prayer, as we ask for God to watch over us and provide divine protection. On page 46, we sing Veshamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'Torah b'rit olam b'nei b'nei Israel oti le'olam ki sheshet yamim asanai et hashamayim v'et haaretz ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat Shabbat v'yinafash.
On page 47, Joseph, could you lead us under Aleph, the tapestry of our Jewish heritage?
The strength of a piece of cloth is in the threads of which the whole is woven.
The
Tapestry of our Jewish heritage has many threads of many colors,
Bright
gold, somber black.
With its colors echoing the events of the time, this tapestry was begun many thousands of years ago. Its weaving will continue for the many thousands of years to come.
The first strands
The figures of Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel. Their thread was strong, their colors were brilliant.
The pattern grew, the length increased, and the stories of our heroines and heroes, their deeds, their lives, were woven into the cloth of beauty and lasting strength.
On page 49, we'll chant the Chetzi Kaddish, and then we will rise for the Amidah, which is the central prayer of our service. Yitkada v'yitkada shemei Rabbi Be'alma divra hirote v'yamlik mahute
V'tayikon yom ekon ufayed kol beit Yisrael Bagala uvizman kariv v'yineru amen Yehesh mei Rabba mevorah v'yolam v'yom v'yomaya Yisbarach
Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitole v'yitolal Shemei Kudasha Beriku Leila Mikol Birchata v'shirata
Tush v'chata v'nechemata damiram v'yalma v'yineru amen Adonai Sabbatati Tahu v'yagi v'yintetecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Sarah Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Rivka Elohei Yaakov Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Hail HaGadol HaGibor HaNorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'konei HaKol V'zocher Chasdei HaMorkimot U'mei Gula Livnei Bneihem L'ma'an Shemo V'yahava V'lechoseo Moshiach Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'ezrat Sarah Atah Yibodem Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atar Rav L'Hoshia Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim Somei Nofi Kaye Munorato, Vishene Alpha, Nikamokapau, Yuro, Umito, Mela, Mela Drinking Kaye, Umatia, Yeshua, Manata, Lavayon, Tako, Baru, Ata, Adonai, Nikaye, Allah.
Please be seated. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless upon miracles. O God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like the softness of moonlight, illumines the darkness in which we walk.
Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed.
And we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it.
Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God.
On page 53, we'll sing Yismahu. Yismahu
B'malachutecha, Shomerei, Shomerei, Shomerei Shabbat B'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismahu B'malachutecha, Shomerei, Shomerei, Shomerei Shabbat B'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Shomerei, Shomerei, Shomerei Shabbat B'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malachutecha, Shomerei, Shomerei, Shomerei Shabbat B'korei, Oneg Shabbat. V'achli v'rachitamo, v'chitamo Shabbat. And Yami, Otah Shabbat. Yismechu b'malachutecha, Shomerei, Shomerei, Shomerei Shabbat B'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malachutecha, Shomerei, Shomerei, Shomerei Shabbat B'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Zecher l'maseh, l'maseh b'reishi Shabbat. Zecher l'maseh, l'maseh b'reishi Shabbat. Yismechu b'malachutecha, Shomerei, Shomerei, Shomerei Shabbat B'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malachutecha, Shomerei, Shomerei, Shomerei Shabbat B'korei, Oneg Shabbat.
On page 55, under meditation Gimel, Shazad, could you lead us there? Page 55, where has the week vanished?
Whereas the week vanished, it's lost forever. Will I ever recover anything from it? Joy of life, the unexpected victory. I realize the task accomplished.
Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom?
On this day, let me think about what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat.
And now Shabbat has come, and now we draw from the flight of time.
Then I contain the retreat of the hours and days of the death of a frantic life, when all the days abandon me. Shabbat.
Let me
Let me learn to pause only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter the quiet world of this day. This day is Shabbat.
59 under Bet. Ruth, could you lead us there?
I saw Jerusalem from Mount Scopus, and she was perfect and whole, little yet limitless, within her borders contained and yet uncontainable.
Eastward the hills of Judah, wrapped in white and blue, are ministering priests, and silently they meditate blessing, and burn the snail shell incense.
And on the hills and pits the embers still whisper and burn, as if spice were being perfumed there in the twilight by the roasting of the sun's coals on censers of shadows.
And all Jerusalem was to me like a single coal kept on the altar, that each nation and body might come brighten at the tongs, and take from it an ember. We praise the Eternal One, who brings your Shabbat to Zion.
At the bottom of page 59, he's saying Modi Manach Nulach. Modi Manach Nulach, She'atahu Adonai Eloheinu. Modi Manach Nulach, She'atahu Adonai. Modi Manach Nulach, She'atahu And on page 63, we will sing Shalom Rav as we pray for peace. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Kasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Kasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, levo hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, levo hashalom. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Kasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Kasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech es Amcha Yisrael. V'holech l'chol shar b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Kasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Kasim Leolam. Kasim Leolam. Kasim Leolam. We now take a moment to pray silently.
Shalom,
turn our attention to those in our community who are in need of healing. In our community in particular this week, we are thinking of Harav Jordan Hakohen, Verivka Yolanda Smith, Pam Crowder, Roz Pollock, Jean Pimentel, Yvonne Wilson, Ruth Bass, Liba Aharona Bachmai Vasara Leah, Donna Wiersbecki, David Wozniak, Charlie DeAndrea, Marta Steinmetz, Joseph Tortel, Robert Ledger, Harvey and Marlene Friedman, Consuelo Franco, Shirley Herman, Rick Valentine, Rebecca Bodeville, Philip Shepard, Dee Hickey, Lorraine DaCosta, Adela Tsur, Al Lovsky, Evelyn Tyndall, Amanda Schenk, David Black, Jean Elizabeth Pitt, Bob Smith, Harav David Hillel Ben Chaya Brana, and Laura Eskenazi. We are also continuing to pray for the release of the hostages. This is a prayer for redemption of hostages by Rabbis Ofer and Rachel Sabbath Beit Halachmi. Our God, the one who raised Joseph up from the pit, be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Send complete rescue and full redemption to all those held captive by the enemy. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers that they may be protected from all harm. Implant understanding in the heart of the enemy that they may return the captives in wholeness of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to the Israel Defense Forces that they may secure freedom for the captives without loss of life. Grant strength of spirit and courage of heart to all the sons and daughters of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar to release bonds of captivity and allow us to all live in freedom. They shall call upon me, and I will answer them. I will be with them in distress. I will rescue them and honor them. After Psalm 91:15. Please turn now to page 135 and rise for the prayer for the state of Israel. Sur Yisrael v'go'alo, v'retna et Medina Yisrael ha'shamat tikvatim. Rock and Redeemer of Israel, place your blessing upon the state of Israel, the realization of hope for Jewish homeland. Send your light and your truth to all its inhabitants. Spread open the shelter of your peace. Bestow insight upon its leaders, judges, and representatives, that they may achieve justice, freedom, and integrity. Visit blessing upon all your people Israel, wherever we dwell. Let the love of Zion into our hearts, that our footsteps may raise to walk upon its soil. And may the vision of your prophet Isaiah soon be fulfilled. For Torah shall come forth from Zion, and God's word from Jerusalem. Let us say, Amen. Okay, it is now my pleasure to call upon Zach to give his devar for this evening.
Thanks, Nicole. Our parsha this week is Lech Lecha, which is arguably one of the most important parts of the Torah, as it begins to focus less on what the Tanakh says are the origins of humanity and more on our foundational stories as Jews. The opening words to the parsha Lech Lecha are usually translated as go forth or go out, but I'd like to argue they're as much an invitation as they are a command. To explain what I mean, we have to go back a week to the flood story for Parshat Noach for a minute or two. The flood story is as much about God's growth as it is humanity's redemption through one family. Some people read it as a warning about what can happen if we misbehave, but I don't think that's the point, because God vowed never again to bring a flood that would destroy all life on earth, as we know. After the flood, human beings remain essentially unchanged. The Torah tells us God realized since human beings have infinite potential, that means we are capable of doing wrong. God recognized in creating us, God essentially separated themselves because we aren't God. We aren't gods. We're different. Made in the image does not mean we're identical twins. And of course, since we don't have an actual image of God, and never will, that leaves the phrase made in the image open to millions of interpretations. But let's get back to Noah for a second. God saved Noah and his family because they showed some righteousness. Nothing about that says they didn't have the capacity to do wrong. Noah doesn't speak up for his fellow human beings, for example, when God tells him what is going to happen. That's perhaps, we could argue, more than a little unkind and or thoughtless, and that's something we start to see with Abraham that makes him different, makes Sarah different. Part of why their names are eventually changed. It's that quality that's one of the main reasons for that. So the flood story doesn't have much growth for human beings. It's more about God learning how to parent us, realizing God doesn't want unquestioning obedience from us either, that's also a problem. So God needs a reminder about how to parent us, so God puts a rainbow in the sky as a reminder to never again destroy the creatures of the planet. So in that process, God realizes human beings have agency and, as I said, are separate. Responsibility, of course, doesn't equal controlling us, even if God repeatedly might struggle with that throughout Tanakh as well. God continues to be pretty reactive with us throughout Torah, but at no point is there ever a relationship where God isn't learning and growing alongside us. Lech Lecha, by contrast, is about a group of human beings, a very specific group of human beings, being given an opportunity to learn and to grow. As I said, the first two words of the Parsha are usually translated as go out or go forth. But here's how Rashi analyzed the passage. He writes, Lech Lecha means less go out and more go for yourself. Lech Lecha, indeed, in Hebrew, Lecha would coordinate go to you. Rashi writes, Lech Lecha essentially means go to yourself for your benefit and for your good, and there I will make you into a great nation and make your nature known to the world. So this begs the question, if this is a command, why does God essentially dangle incentives in front of Avram and Sarah, right? It's because God knows they have a choice. They can say no. They can turn him down. They can choose comfort and familiarity over the unknown and a challenge. When God tells them, go to yourself, God is as much giving them a job as inviting them to do the job. They don't even know what the job is yet, but there sure are a lot of nice sounding things that come along with it. Most people would turn someone down if they were offered a job with no job description attached to it, but not these two. That's why they're different. But there's another reason this is an invitation. God is not literally telling them to leave Avram's father's house. We read at the end of Parsha Noach that Avram and Sarai and Lot had already done so. They had gone out from Ur and settled in Haran briefly. So they cannot literally leave Avram's father's house or his land. Grammatically, anytime in the Torah where we see the words lech, it means going towards something, usually on foot. Vayetze, by contrast, is used when the Torah refers to speaking about leaving a place, like Jacob leaving Beersheba for Haran. Doesn't necessarily indicate, anyone's having an easy journey, because moving around on foot at that time was by no means easy. So Avram and Sarai are invited on a physical and spiritual journey to go beyond themselves, to break boundaries, to change who they are on a fundamental level. To go back to parenting for a second, any parent in the room or watching on the live stream, you know that if you tell your child to do something, they may not always do it, or see why they should, or argue with you, or even understand the benefit of it to them. It's the same here. That's why Lech Lecha is as much a spiritual invitation as it is a command. We choose to do the mitzvot. We're told we must do them, but ultimately it's up to us how we integrate them into our lives. Usually I like to end a devar with some kind of spiritual question for those listening, so here's my challenge today. We're at a time of momentous change and instability in the world. Things are less certain for us as Jews and in humanity, as for humanity in general, than they have been for probably a lot of our lifetimes. The reality is, nothing has ever been certain, and nothing ever is permanent. Everything is inherently impermanent. So how can we take inspiration from Lech Lecha as we go about not just this upcoming week, but the rest of our weeks? How can we go for ourselves, go towards ourselves, be more of who we are? Perhaps it would serve us all to remember that since we are all one big, long chain, stretching back over time to Sinai and before that even, we, like Abraham and Sarah, are always being invited into relationship with God and with each other. Please take care of each other. Be at peace. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you, Zach. Now turn to page 149, and we rise and body and spirit revealing. Jeff, could you lead us on the bottom of page 150 under Aleph? Jeff Copeland?
I'm sorry?
Could you lead us on the bottom of page 150 under Aleph?
What page?
150.
150?
Yes.
God spread out the heavens and established the earth. The Eternal is our God, there is none else. In truth, God alone is our ruler, as it is written. Know then this day and take it to heart. Adonai is God in the heavens above and on the earth below. There is none else.
We therefore hope our eternal God, soon to behold the glory of your might. Then will false gods vanish from our hearts, and the world will be perfected under your unchallenged rule. And then will all who think you as their God, and forsaking evil, turn to you alone.
Let all who dwell on earth acknowledge that we are all partners in Tikkun Olam, the mending of the world. For dominion is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory, as it is written.
Adonai will reign forever and ever. On page 152, under bed, human beings do not live forever. We live less than the time it takes to blink an eye, if we measure our eyes against eternity. So it may be asked, what value is there to human life? There is so much pain in the world. What does it mean to have to suffer so much? Our lives are nothing more than a blink of an eye.
I learned a long time ago that the blink of an eye itself is nothing, but the eye that blinks, that is The span of life is nothing, but the person who lives that span is something. We can fill that time span with meaning, so its quality is immeasurable, though its quantity may be insignificant. We must fill life with meaning. Meaning is not automatically given to life.
Our thoughts now turn to those who have enriched our lives, but are now only in our memories. Today we are remembering, we're sad to announce the recent death of Justice Murray Sinclair, who led the Truth and Reconciliation Commission into residential schools, passed away on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. His work was highly important to Canadians. May his memory always be for a blessing. And we observed the yard sites this week of William Goldenberg, brother of Carol Copeland and brother-in-law of Jeff Copeland, Don DeCourcy, partner of Lena Rule and step-parent of Emma Weisenbluth, Erica Richter, mother and mother-in-law of Harry and Miriam Richter, grandmother of Ryan and Marnie, Marilyn Block, a former longtime Solonic, Joseph Sidler, father of Mona Sidler Hosios, Harriet and Bonnie Sidler, father-in-law of Len Hosius, grandfather of Benjamin and Marcus, Jerry Hadar, uncle of Shirley Herman, Jack Mursky, uncle of Cheryl Englander and Rabbi Lawrence Englander, Harold Kahn, father of Beverly Perez, Max Hochman, cousin and friend of Marlene Tash, Ruth Adler, sister of Beatrice Rose Marin, aunt of Chantel, Nicole, and Danielle, Hilda Herman, mother of Gavin, grandmother of Mark and Laura, Mo Stober, father of Marcy Vinsky, grandfather of Leah and Miranda, great-grandfather of Kyla, Logan, Ava, Cole, and Benjamin, Cantor Jenny Lee Eisenstark, dear friend of Rabbi Audrey Pollack, Julian Harper, father of Zachary, Mary Lotz, mother of Naomi Dennis, Saul Walkman, father of Jeff, grandfather of Eric and Kareen, and Yitzhak Rabin. Please stand if you are observing yard site from this list, and if anyone else is observing yard site this week, would you like to state your relative's name? Please stand and say their names as I look in your direction. Min hamakom timachamu, may you become comforted by God's sheltering presence as we all rise in congregational support and to say Kaddish for those with no one to say Kaddish for them.
Yitgadol v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah, v'yamad yirach yorotei v'yamlik malchutei, v'chai echon v'yom echon, v'chai dekol beit Yisrael, v'agala b'zman kariv v'yiru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam lo'amei amen. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei v'yusha b'riyud. Le'elam mikol b'chata v'shirata, tushkata v'nechemata, tamirah ya'ala v'yiru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah mishamayim, v'chaim aleinu ve'ol kol Yisrael v'yiru amen. U'oseh shalom b'rumav, u'yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'ol kol Yisrael, ve'ol kol b'nei Adam, v'yiru amen.
I'd like to thank Zach for accompanying me, but now who's doing the announcements today? Sorry? You? Okay. Okay. Can I I'll call upon Ruth to bring announcements to us.
We begin with our thank yous to Joel Brown, our tech volunteer who keeps us all connected. Our Shemis this evening, a partnership between Zach and Althea. Thank you both. To our greeter, Frank Kay, and for a lovely service to the different partnership this time between Nicole and Zach for the words and music that were so beautiful tonight. Lots of things are going on, and we remind you that you should always check the Shemis and check the website to get all the details. There will be regular services tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. On Sunday, we've got Beit Sefer classes starting at 10. At 10:30 in the library, Rabbi Englander is leading his course on religious Zionism from moderate to messianic. And at 12:30, women of Solel will be cooking in the kitchen. Feel free to join them. Coming up next Friday the 15th is the special Kristallnacht presentation with guest speaker Richard Pinard. And there is a Shabbat dinner before the actual service. And we need you to contact the office as soon as possible if you'd like to join us so that they will know how many people are coming. A modest cost of $18 per person for the dinner. On next Sunday, the 17th, there's a program happening for a group of non-Jewish Solelniks. So it's an opportunity to join with the rabbi at 12:30 to find out how to support your Jewish partner. There's also Monster and Mention happening that afternoon for the young people. And lots more happening on Tuesday, November the 19th. We have our next Lunch and Learn. David Douglas will be speaking about oil lamps and archaeology. There are a group of individuals who are working away on making their own talit, and if you would like to join in that group, please reach out to Miriam Schumann. You can access her through the office. And finally, Solel's Living Torah project is continuing until year end, and if you would like to participate, feel free again to contact the office. Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, so we're going to, in honor of this week's Parsha, we're going to have a closing Zmirah, Lucky Luck, and then following that, I'll invite David Grossman to lead us in Kaddish on page 163. Lechi la, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi la, on your journey I will bless you. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi la, Lechi la, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi la, to the place that I will show you. Lesson hot hayim, lesson not hayim, lesson hot hayim, lechi la.
Please rise. Vahi Erev, Vahi Mokev, Yom HaShishi. Now the whole universe, sky, earth, and all their array was completed. With the seventh day, God had ended the work of creation and rested with all work completed. Then God blessed the seventh day and called it holy. For with this day, God had completed the work of creation. Together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei b'riat hafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'natzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho
Maltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Hashavat.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, and I invite everyone to join us in the Kiddush room for Ronet Shabbat, and I hope everyone at home has something lovely to nosh on as well. Shabbat Shalom.